Good Thursday morning, everybody. Welcome into Undisputed. Thanks for hanging with us this morning. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Shannon, I got to give you your flowers.
Do it right. Do it right.
Congratulations.
Diet Mountain Dew, the breakfast of champions, the nectar of the gods.
Well, look, you're not a god. I'm the god.
Oh,
So
you're the god.
I get to drink 2 cases.
Really?
You sure you want that third case?
Yeah.
You know, you tried to outrage your case. I told you I saw you coming.
Yeah.
I saw you coming.
You were extremely lucky in both cases last night. We will talk about that in short order here.
SGA.
Really?
And giddy.
Well, I never douded that. Are you giddy about giddy?
I was giddy this morning.
Really?
I was thinking all the while. I said, oh, Jen.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen, I'm sorry. You gotta get, gotta get to work.
I'll be cooking your etouffee and making you some beignets.
Yeah.
It's too painful to talk about right now, though, guys. So let's start with Draymond Green, because he's always good for a distraction and a quote, right?
Yep.
Draymond Green was watching LeBron and the Lakers beat the Timberwolves in the play-in. He shared his thoughts on his podcast, and, of course, it's headline making. Draymond says he was shocked. LeBron appeared gassed down the stretch of the game and also made uncharacteristic passes. Shannon, what's your reaction to what Draymond had to say?
I don't know, Draymond. LeBron James is 38 years of age in year 20. Skip, what do you think the likelihood that Draymond Green, he's just finished the year 11, so in 9 years from now, he'll be able to play 45 minutes in a game? Not in a church league game, not in a YMCA game, not even in a pickup game at Lifetime Fitness. Will Draymond Green be able to play 45 minutes in a game? He played 45 minutes. What do you expect? His ninth game back, he played 45 minutes. How many guys that you think have ever been able to play 45 minutes in a game at 38 years of age? I'm not talking about 24, 25, because, hell, he could play that. Dale Ellis got the record. He played 69 minutes in a game. I don't think that would be broken anytime soon, Skip. But, as a matter of fact, I called APS and reported the Lakers making an old man work that hard. You can't make elderly people work that hard, Skip, in today's time. Back once upon a time when I was my age coming up, they worked that hard.
Yep.
Not anymore. I'm not surprised. I tweeted it. LeBron James is gassed because he looked it. And the mistakes that he started to make were fatigue mistakes. Because when you play it, he understood the magnitude of this game. I don't know what it is. The NBA says it's not a regular season game.
Yep.
Skip, they say it's not a playoff game. So they just in purgatory. So I don't know what you want to call it. But it sure had the feel of a playoff type game. The atmosphere, the buzz, you see people, every time the Lakers started making a shot and it was coming back, the entire crowd would rise.
Yep.
And you could see the feel and the intensity. And it's draining mentally, physically, and emotionally.
And just a quick point before you continue. LeBron was playing for a very valuable prize, 4.5 days off.
Yes, yes.
So if you fail to close that deal, if you lose that game, you have to turn right around and play Friday night.
And then again,
right again,
if you
in
win
a day
Sunday.
and a half, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's an extremely valuable playoff before the playoff prize. Go ahead.
So, and you look at it, Skip, LeBron James has played almost 1,700 ball games.
Yeah.
Averaging almost 39 minutes a game, 38.6 minutes. Draymond has played 905 games. He averages less than 30 minutes a ball game. So you can see the difference. But I'm not surprised at all, Skip, because you're asking a man to do something, especially at his age, that we've never seen before. It's like when you start who was it? I think it was John Walker or somebody. For 20 straight years, he ran a sub 4-minute mile. Obviously, as he got older, Skip, it got harder. You run. So you know as you get older and older, the time that you once ran, that you're like, whoo, this is a breeze, man. I can go another mile. All of a sudden, as you start to age, I don't know how many more of these I'm going to be able to do. And that's what LeBron did. So I'm not surprised at all. I'm surprised that Draymond is surprised, given that LeBron James is in year 20, that he is on 38-year-old legs, that he's surprised that a man that's played as much as he has, as much regular season and postseason basketball, got winded, got fatigued. And he got fatigued, he started making mental lapses that we don't normally see. But I'm not surprised. I'm surprised Draymond is surprised. I'm not surprised LeBron got winded.
Okay. Allow me first to start with just Draymond here. And by the way, to your point, I watched a lot of basketball this regular season, and Draymond looked older than LeBron. No, seriously, I am not exaggerating. He looked more aged than LeBron looked. And what's the age difference you just said?
Draymond, he probably played all 4 years. This is his 11th year. This is LeBron's 20th year. So Skip, he didn't go straight. He went straight through. So you take 4 years. So he probably 34, 33, 34.
Right. Okay. Now, Draymond likes to talk about how he is now the new media. Well, whether you're the new or the old, you are still qualifying yourself as a media member because you're doing a podcast regularly.
You're doing this.
And you are commenting on all things National Basketball Association. So if you are a media member, then you are wearing, so to speak, two hats. You're wearing both hats. And I would suggest that in this case, you're also wearing a coat with those two hats, and it's called a turncoat because you are criticizing. I don't care how you slice this or dice this, it still comes across as being critical of a man that you're business partners with him and uninterrupted.
Right.
You are a clutch client, so you're also within the confines of his agency. I got to tell you, it's offensive to me. That's stepping out of bounds as your new media. And he's trying to sell himself as, I can see it from the inside out. Okay, well, I give you that. But now, are you taking advantage to the point that you're going to comment from the inside out critically of an opponent? I don't know. They could play in the next round after this. I just think, for the sake of selling your podcast, that there are certain rules and regulations that you're still going to have to live by, where there are going to be boundaries. And I think you stepped across a boundary here. You're trying to sell your podcast. I got it. We all try to do the same thing. But the point is, it felt out of bounds to me because LeBron does not deserve that from Draymond. Whether it's right or wrong, it's still critical. Right? It's critiquing his performance in a huge game that, by the way, the Lakers prevailed. However they prevailed, they did win the game. So it's not like LeBron deserves the blame for a loss because they lived to tell. They're going on. They got 4.5 days off, which will be gold to LeBron. So for me, the first point of order here is, what is Draymond thinking? It's wrong. There's a certain
Draymond
loyalty. There's just some loyalty here that he is betraying to LeBron.
How about he's looking at it and says, I'm saying what everybody else is thinking. You know, sometimes
that's what he's trying to sell here.
That's what he's trying to sell.
Okay. All right. Okay. I got it. And then, it's the same idea. He joined forces. Remember, okay, if we go back to frame all this, remember in the 2016 finals, the whole thing turned when LeBron and Kyrie came back from 3-1 down on Draymond getting into it in Game 4 with LeBron on the court and calling him the B word. And then I think it was in the same podcast, Draymond was talking about, that's the one word you can't say. You can't come back from saying that word. Well, he said it to LeBron in the heat of battle. I give you that. But then he goes to the other end of the court and they get tangled up and he kicks him below the belt. And he gets suspended for Game 5. And it was the pivotal Game 5 back at Oracle, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he's been talking about on the podcast about the B word, and it's all hypocritical to me because he is capable, and he said it to KD also. All right, so now I'm going to step back from Draymond because that's issue number 1 here.
Okay.
Let's go to issue number 2. Let's go to the gassed because I am fascinated by this. You mentioned I still run a lot. I'm fascinated by this concept of gassing. Okay, so you thought LeBron was gassed the other night, yet it's the same LeBron who I watched do something so extraordinary. He played back-to-back last week at Utah where he got pressed into playing an extra 5 minutes because he blew a little left-handed layup, but he redeemed himself in overtime. He played great, and they prevailed at Utah. They come right back home and have to face the Clippers in their Clippers home game at the Crypt. What does he do? He comes out flat in the first half, and I'm like, okay, I got you, because that to me, I don't know if it's not even gas. It's just you're just worn out, man. You just played. Okay, so you can't recover fast enough to play the first half. then he shocked me out of my chair. In the second half, he comes out and looks completely refreshed. And I thought he went from playing his worst half of basketball I'd ever seen, 3 total points, to, under the circumstance, the best half of basketball I'd ever seen, because he was off the charts extraordinary. He scored 30 in the second half. Okay, where did the energy come from?
Well, Skip, I think as a runner, you know, sometimes you have a hard run one day, and then the next day you go run, and you're like, man, I just don't feel it. But after a while, after like 10 minutes into the run, you're like, okay, I don't feel that bad.
Yeah.
But then there are other days when you start out too hard and you go anaerobic. It ain't no coming back from that. You see them crack all the time. You see runners start too fast. You see it a lot in the Tour de France. They go out anaerobic. They go out on the climb. They do the breakaway.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, all of a sudden it's like the bike ain't even moving.
Okay.
And LeBron, Skip, he played 20 minutes in the first half, which is something we hadn't seen him do in a very, very long time. So you know he's trending too close towards 40 minutes. Now you get to overtime. You know he's not coming off the court. So you know the only way he's coming off, he did have 5-5 in overtime. So now the only thing that's going to get him out of the ball game if he fouls out.
All right.
45 minutes.
Okay.
On a 38-year-old leg, Skip.
All right.
That's asking an awful lot.
All right. Here's my take on it from my little sample size on my little level, because you brought up my running. This is how I feel about it. It was a long time ago that I ran my best marathon. I was 34 years of age. It was in Houston, just out of the blue. I caught a rainy day, which was great. It was 55 degrees.
Nice and cool then.
I ran forever. I ran 6-minute and 22-second miles for 26.2 miles, and it was 2 hours and 47 minutes and 10 seconds, and that's by far my PRs and personal record.
Right.
That was a long time ago. There is no way I could come even close to being able to perform like that at that level. But I'm going to tell you this, I can still run forever. My aerobic capacity, my cardio, let's just call it my cardio.
Right.
If I may say so myself, I'm in supreme cardio shape right now, as in I can run forever.
Right.
If no one